right, here we go, y'all. Yeah. Let's see what Ren got for us now. All right, you guys, we're back at it. What's going down, man? How y'all doing? This is a reaction to Ren's new joint, Suicide, that just dropped. With that title, I feel like this one's probably going to be pretty heavy. So, yeah, man. What's up? 40-year-old FUQ boys. I go by the name Black Pegasus, and we got my man.
Yeah, and it's your boy, Don Wannabe, back in the house once again.
Yeah, now, it's interesting because I'm actually excited to listen to this song, right? Yeah. But sometimes me and you come in here guns a-blazing, you know, because that's our personality.
Yeah.
And just this title, I was like, man, let me just see what this is about before, you know, I just come in here. Because I'm, you know, that's typically like I come in, you know, with a very hyper
Yes, I
attitude.
always come in too with my jokes, just clowning on everything. And this may not be the reaction to do that, judging by the title of the song and knowing that Ren tends to stray into some deeper topics.
Yeah. So, yeah, but anyways, I am excited that I believe this is a part of the rollout for his record Sick Boy, I believe. So, let's dive
and already
into it.
The visuals are interesting.
Yeah, it's like very art. It's an art. It's like a kind of like a.
It looks like a painting almost.
Yeah.
Like it's like the animation like looks almost like a painting.
Yeah, facts.
It's intriguing.
Yeah, so this will be dope. Anyways, you guys, let's go ahead and get this thing started. Don't forget to like, share, and comment on all the content. But if you're really rocking with the vibe, subscribe to the dang channel. We're actually really close to 100K, and I'm just going to thank you guys because that's because of you guys supporting. So we appreciate that. Let's get it going.
40-year-old
What?
boys are back in town. 40. Boys are back in town. 40-year-old
What?
boys are back in town. The boys are back in town. 40-year-old FUQ Boys podcast. Malt liquor for your ears. 40.
All right, I'm going to get this logo down and pull the video up. But you guys, if you're new to the channel or been under a rock, the main thing you guys need to know is we did a really fun reaction with Ren, and I would love for you to check it out if you haven't already. And if you have, thank you so much, man. It was an honor to be able to interview Ren, and it was a super dope opportunity. He gave us that olive branch, and I'll be forever grateful for that. It's super dope.
Yeah, it was an awesome interview. Great experience.
Yeah, it's like a kind of like a milestone for the channel too. It's
giant milestone.
It's like we do that interview because I think one of the big interviews too was like Tech 9. Then we get Ren, and then we stumble into 100,000 subs. Super cool. So, anyways, now I wanted to tell you this because I'm an internet, like I'm always on social media. He is not. So, Ren posted kind of like a commemoration on his buddy Joe birthday, and he put a bunch of pictures, and then he also announced like, hey, you know, this song Suicide drops. So that's why I have this inclination, like, you know, we're probably going to go down that vein. And I didn't want to start this thing off like all crazy energy, like my normal self, and just kind of vibe to the music and see what we got here. So I want to take this serious.
Well, knowing
the
that
title is serious, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, knowing that this is such a prominent feature in his life, like that, you know, the loss of his friend. It's like we don't want to come in here like joking because we want to give it its proper respect. That's my take on it.
And that's me too. So
yeah,
just explain that out. But I still am excited to see this. So all right, here we go. This is Ren. So let me make this a little bit bigger.
Yeah, I was gonna say, blow it up, because the visuals are very interesting in this.
Yeah, from the beginning.
Through the cracks of the night sky, a light goes out on the other side. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Oh, treading on the tracks in the night time. It never really felt like the right time. Suicide, suicide, suicide. I'm so fucking lonely beneath this. Narcissistic, can't keep a secret. Miscount sheep, but can't sleep, a misfit. Some say trouble, but some say sadistic. Bruises my brother, one time or the other. My skin felt counterfeit, silicone rubber. Bruises my sister, skin pop the blister. Dig deep, resist the feeling when it hits you. Falling through the cracks of the night sky. A light goes out on the other side. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Oh, why, oh, why, oh, why.
I'm listening to that first verse, and I'm wondering if that's from his perception. Is that from his perception? Is he lonely?
I think he's just telling a story, but like of that feeling, like of being in that place.
Well, and that's what I'm wondering. Is it the perception? Like, is Ren feeling this? Like, is he actually lonely, or is this from like a place of a story of someone who's going through these feelings?
I think it could be both. I mean, I think it's open to an interpretation. As an artist, you're expressing both your own feelings and the feelings of others. And like, I think for a lot of people, we've had moments in our lives where we've had those feelings.
Yeah. It's interesting when we
I'm tripping out on the visuals because in our interview, I think they reference Love and Robots. Do you know what I'm talking about? That show on Netflix?
I couldn't say it when we were talking to them. I was forgetting the name.
Yeah.
But yes. And I've seen some of the episodes.
But the animation in this is just, I think it's super dope. It's, very interesting, like the way that it's just like morphing and changing. And yeah.
When he started talking about the dark stuff, I think he said like demonic thoughts or something like that. And the face started changing into all these altered like states. I was like, and it's funny because I was going to say that, but I couldn't remember the name, Love and Robots. I was going to say that now because I was like, yo, when we talked about, I think it's called Proof of Concept or something like that. It's just like, yo, all this stuff is just, bro.
He talked about wanting to do a Netflix series, and I'm like, oh, this is interesting because I could see him doing something like this where you have animation mixed with like live action, like knowing that he's like such a creative person. Like I could see him going down different lanes with the expression of that show that he wants to do.
Agreed.
Treading on the tracks in the nighttime. It never really felt like the right time. Suicide, suicide, suicide.
Sick boy, bitten by a tech boy. I feel like it's not me, it's the world that's sick.
I'm so fucking washed up and seasick. Masochistic kid with a split lip. 6 feet deep, I can't eat, I'm nervous. Won't stay down cause my body purges. Useless my mother, can't keep in my supper. Skin so pale cause my cheeks leak colour. Truth is my father, you choose your karma. Draw for the sword, then drive through the armour. Oh, I, falling through the cracks of the night sky. I light goes out on the other side. Suicide, suicide, suicide.
I like the way he paints pictures, man. Like it's all descriptive. Like it's dope, and it really fits the video so far.
Oh, I, treading on the tracks in the nighttime. It never really felt like the right time. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Suicide, suicide, suicide.
It's hard to take off from the ground when your wings are cut. Your stomach burns when you're drinking from an empty cup. You know the entire ocean came from my tear ducts. I see the world through Fibonacci sequences and double Dutch. I guess there's some that's born lucky, there's some that's not. I tried to cut away my bitterness, hatchet job. I locked my youth inside a trunk, inside a pickup truck, then dumped the whole thing over that same bridge the night you jumped. I think about that sometimes, vividly. What it felt like to look down and see tranquility. One sudden movement in a world of possibility. Only one movement to expose our fragility. I fucking miss you, and I miss myself. I miss thinking we were indestructible as well. I miss chilling by the pier cave and kicking back with Callum, Hugo, Sega, Justin, Stevie and the fucking lads. I miss missing that. I numb myself to close the gap. I never even call them up. The distance is my plaster cast. The truth is that the day you jumped, my childhood jumped too. But I still can't find that anger. All I find is missing you, man, I miss you. with all my rhymes. I picture running 5 minutes quicker, I'm right on time. I picture pulling you back over the edge and then we're crying, and holding you, my brother, and telling you that it's fine. Not the way that it worked, cause I was late like a jerk. There's not a day where I could find a way to break from the hurt. Your body missing, so we never got to wave to the hers. I hope you're listening, I love you, man, I miss you absurd. Fuck.
Damn. It's when someone's that real and that vulnerable on a song, I got to take a second because
I mean, it's not something that I ever recall hearing ever. I've never heard somebody cry on a song. And really, like, you know, you hear things like the pain of a lost relationship. I'm used to hearing that.
Yeah.
You know, and there's moments of like great artists where you like hear somebody singing a song and you can, you know, what am I thinking of? Oh, God. Take another little piece of my heart now, baby. When she's singing that song, it's like you feel it, you know, and those notes. But I don't know if I've ever heard anyone be that raw. And what stood out for me is like, you know, I personally, like what he's talking about is that there was a death of his friend, but there's a part of him that died. He said, you know, my childhood, you know, like got put in a trunk of a truck and like dumped off a ledge. And then he goes on to say, you know, I lost my childhood in that moment.
He also at the end starts saying, I miss myself.
Yes. And that's what stood out to me because I personally have been dealing with a battle for myself.
Yeah.
Like something changed in me during the pandemic, you know, being isolated for so long. I got detached from the life that I used to live, from my social life, from these different aspects of me. Also, certain things about the pandemic and started to fear in me about the people in power and what they wanted to do to us or were willing to do. And it put my headspace in a different place. And like, I'm still fighting to recover that person that was there before. And then, you know, my relationship at that time with the person I was with, you know, fell apart, right? And that was a big part of what I saw my future. I thought I was going to get old with this person, right? And I have all these different little aspects of like that person that I remember that was like happy-go-lucky and free and like the life of the party and always like loving and open and all these things. And I felt a certain amount of cynicism creep into my life. Cynicism about the world and the people in power. Cynicism about love because I thought that I could trust this person and that we were partners. Like I thought that was, you know what I mean? We made a commitment to each other for life. And when I said it, I meant it.
Yeah.
So I have a certain cynicism about like relationships. And the biggest thing, if I'm really being honest, is I have a cynicism about myself because I keep failing and making these same mistakes over and over again. And I started doubting whether or not I was going to overcome.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, really what the biggest problem was that crept into my relationships. It's crept into these other things. But this song really hits because when he said that, you know, I miss myself, I have that feeling. Yeah. I'm walking around and I'm battling it like daily, like, you know, every day. Like I'm battling that feeling of giving up and becoming cynical and becoming angry and becoming bitter, you know, and letting go of that part of me that was free and happy-go-lucky and loving, the type of person who would just go up to strangers and be like, yo, what's up, man? And give them a hug.
Yeah.
Like I'm fighting to get that person back. I was trying to do it last night when I went out to the Harry Mack concert.
Yeah.
You know, so it just really resonates with me because I'm currently in that battle.
He said a lot here. He was very descriptive in the first, I don't know if it was like 3 verses. They were really short. And or maybe it was 2. But when he goes to this last, it's almost like a rap and poetry. Mm-hmm. And the descriptive parts, I do now as it comes full circle, it seems like it is just about him. I was like, okay, maybe like where's he going with this at first, right? But the one thing that hit me the hardest of this was the regret he feels. He was like, it's interesting because in our interview, he told you to let go of the guilt that you feel for your brother potentially getting Lyme disease because of going out to work with you. And I believe these are thoughts that he has, that all of us have. And this regret that he says in the song, in the lyrics, he's like, he's imagining. So he tells this descriptive, like, I'm lonely. And there's this build up to this. And the illest picture in my mind is just like, we all have that regret with many different things. But he's like, grabbing you before you fall and just holding you and being like, it's going to be fine. And those things torment us as humans. There's so many regrets I have from my mother passing, things I wish I would have done, ways I would have, and you just wish, and they can torment you. And as he said, sometimes you got to release that guilt. But what I really wanted to dive into is because I realized I capsulated this idea, and I these emotions that I have. And you reminded me when we reacted to Freckled Angels. But one of my buddies, I'm just going to tell the story. I'm not going to say his name, but one of my buddies that sold merchandise for me. I was a touring artist, touring all over the world, all over the country, and he was the homie. He traveled with me, and he would sell merchandise for me. And he lived at my crib at times, stayed the night because we had to get up early to go hustle at the mall, all types of stuff. And he was going through some things. He went through some things in his life. Basically, his wife started cheating on him, then took the kids, and then was going to take him to the cleaners for the kids. And he decided to take himself out on Christmas. And the regret he's talking about, me and him talked on Facebook like 2 weeks before it happened. And I had no clue. And I'm like, bro, if I would have known, I would have just called you. I would have been like, dude, it's gonna be okay. You're better here with your kids. You can come stay with me. Like, he was a good dude, you guys. He was a firefighter, and it's just like, bro. And that regret, it's like just another human gone. Like, it's just not for no reason.
Well, he says it in the song, a light goes out on the other side of the city.
It's crazy. And it's crazy because it just happened this year. And like, until you said it on the Freckled Angels reaction, I didn't even think of it because I take my pain and I just put it away because I deal with so many different things. And
that you got to keep moving.
Yeah, and that's what I talk about when we talk about masculinity and like being at war. Like, we might not be in a physical war, but we're in a war for like to provide, to like survive, to do all these things. And like, I'm over here trying to save my daughter in certain situations with her health. And it's like, it's just so crazy. And I'm just like, I regret that. Like, I wasn't as close with my friend as he was with Joe.
Yeah,
that's like me and you. I'm not even gonna put that in the word
But that's the thing about that.
But he was still a friend.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, damn, it could have just been as simple as a phone call. And so when he said that,
there's two things though, because at that moment when that happened, you actually texted me and said, "I love you."
Yeah,
and I needed it at that point because I was going through the same thing that your friend went through.
Yeah.
To a degree, you know what I mean? It's like, girl cheated on me. I thought we were, going to be together. That was my partner. I made a commitment to her. Like I said, all this I explained, right?
Yeah.
And there's a feeling of my life being shattered. I literally like found out within the span of like, a couple months that it's like relationship is over. I had to move. I moved all my stuff into storage, right? And then I went to Nebraska because I was just like broke and I needed to make money. And then I found myself in Florida. So when you sent me that text message, it was, 6, 7, 8 months after the separation, but I hadn't really processed any of those emotions because just like you, I just put things in a corner and it's like, you just got to keep moving. And I just kept moving. And when you sent that message, I was in a space where I was alone, literally alone in Florida. I had been working with other people, but they were gone back home for the holidays and it was just me. And for the first time, I was starting to process those emotions of what that feeling was of loss.
Yeah.
Of like not having that relationship, not living with my son and my dog anymore, like my family that I love.
Yeah.
You know, and that's gone, and that I don't know what the future likes. I'm sitting there and I'm like, dude, I'm like, 44 years old. I'm broke. Like, I you know what I mean? At that moment, I was like, I don't have money. Like, what am I doing with my life? I'm out here in Florida all by myself.
Yeah.
And those dark thoughts started creeping in that just like, what is the point of all this? Like literally I was having those thoughts in my head. And I have a son, so I'm not going to do that because to me, I could never do that to my son. Right. I could never do that. Yet alone my mom and my brother or you and the other people in my life, because I know the trauma it inflicts. But for his sake, I have to keep moving. Yeah. But in that moment in time, it's like, well, what is he?
Your mind?
Because I was like, what does it even matter? What does it even matter? Like, what am I doing for him right now?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, it crossed my mind. So when you sent that text, it was just a reminder that like, hey man, no matter how dark you feel right now in this moment and how alone you feel, you are loved. You've never said that to me before. You know what I mean? So in that moment, that's exactly what I needed from a friend, was that expression of like, hey, you're valued in this world.
Let's bring this full circle. It's interesting you said that, because sometimes a loss can be, I don't want to say a win, but it's like a sacrifice. It's like the story of kind of like Jesus or whoever you might believe in, that sacrifice to save people. And as you started saying that, I was like, my boy, passed. And what that did was, immediately when I heard the whole story and how it went down and the graphic details, I was like, yo, I need to tell my wife, my daughter, my friends, everyone that I love them. And even if they're like, well, why are you telling me this? Or whatever, it's just so they knew that I love them. And hopefully encourage, like, cause saying things like, yo, I want to see you here. Like you're like, and, it's just, it was interesting that his, I don't know, sacrifice, however you want to put it, put me in that place. And also, Joe, being through this, now it's being channeled through Ren, and it's gonna save people's lives. Like this song absolutely will save someone's life.
Yes.
And it's just, it's weird that you have to, because that happened with my mom. Like my mom passed of cancer, and the long story short, I learned about health because of that. And that's how I might have saved my daughter's life currently with her health issues, because my mom was sacrificed for, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know what that means or how that comes out, but that's just,
I think it
all just came full circle to me as we were talking about that.
Yeah. I think it's about finding, for me, it's about but actively seeking the positivity and the beauty in life, and looking at a situation and recognizing that all that pain and loss is being channeled into something that's going to save lives, into a message that's going to give other people hope, into a message that's going to let people know that, like when he says, a light going out in the other side of the city, if somebody's thinking about that, maybe this will give them the time to reflect, to look back and say like, hey, like, I am valued. Like there are people that love me. Yeah. I'm going to take a step back. And it's like, again, it's like, man, that's the fight. Like, you can't give up. Like, that's where I'm at. It's like feeling that I lost that part of myself. That was even before the breakup and the separation and all that. I was going through those feelings, but like, I refuse personally to give up, because I know that I've been in dark points in my life, and I know that when I keep going, things always get better.
Yeah, there's
like
a
they always get better, and things will get hard again, because that's the nature of life. But the thing that it's also given me is the appreciation of these moments in life where you have the joy and you have the health and you have your family and you have love. Like one of the things about like me not being in this relationship, I can't blame myself. But also, like, I made a choice recently because I was kind of bitter and I was kind of angry, and I'm like, oh, I can't trust women. And and this is actually last week where I was like, dude, I'm making a choice to drop all of those emotions.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be bitter. I'm not going to, be angry. I'm not going to feel like, oh, this was, my love and I'm not going to find love again. It's like, that's all bullshit. Like I'm letting all that go. Yeah. Right. And I'm making a choice that I'm going to have all those things in my life. And that when that comes again, that I'm going to appreciate it and cherish it.
Yeah. I want to play this. I just want to hear the production again. Like this is the first time I've ever heard it, and it was like it's just unique.
Tech boy, bitten by a tech boy. I feel like it's not me, it's the world that's sick.
I'm so fucking washed up and seasick. Masochistic kid with a split lip. 6 feet deep, I can't eat, I'm nervous. Won't stay down cause my body purges. Useless my mother, can't keep in my supper. Skin so pale cause my cheeks leak colour. Truth is my father, you choose your karma. Draw for the sword, then drive through the armour. Falling through the cracks of the night sky. A light goes out on the other side. Suicide, suicide, suicide. I. Treading on the tracks in the night time. It never really felt like the right time. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Suicide, suicide.
The production's crazy, man. This.
Oh yeah, I mean,
it's crazy.
I was thinking the same thing.
And he makes his own beats, so I'm just going to go on a limb. He produced that. That's just, it's wild to be able to put so much rawness, so much vulnerability, and then also like create something that's just like, I don't know. It's like how he's doing the hook. He's like, like it's wild. And then to end it the way he ended. Now, there's an NF joint where I heard him kind of crying at the end. I don't know if he rapped and cried at that end piece. I don't even really want to get into that. I just don't know how he pulled that off. I don't know, because when you do something like that, I would imagine you have to. It just has to, because it's natural. You're not putting on an act. This is actually how you feel, and it's. I don't know, man. It's just crazy. I mean, This is art. This is unblemishable art. It is like. He went like, cause you get emotions in tracks, but he took it to the next level. Like it's living within this song. Like it is breathing and functioning and literally like touching you. Like literally like you're like, oh shit, it's holding me. Yeah. I don't know how to explain it, man. I'm a simpleton with that, in that way.
Well, he is just exposing raw emotion and vulnerability in a musical form. Like I think sometimes like when I was, talking about these other songs where you feel emotions in it, a lot of times what you'll do is you'll put it in like a metaphor and you like kind of like mask it or hide it or change it, right?
Yeah.
But you still bear that emotion and you can feel that coming through in the tracks. You know that they're talking about a real love that they experienced.
Yep.
But there's always like that little bit of like abstraction, right? But he's not doing that. He's not doing abstraction. He's literally
it's
like
just the truth.
Just saying the very truth about this experience that he had and letting that out. And for something that's like that deeply, potent in his life, like of course he's gonna have those feelings.
Yeah, facts. Well, you guys, man, Ren does it again. Sheesh. He hits you at so many different levels, but this is it, you guys. This is Ren. This is his new joint, Suicide. If you have any thoughts, in your mind, if you're having a hard time, I hope you call upon the right people, call upon us, like whatever, there's a lot going on in the world, and I know people are hurting, and people try to mask it, as Don was just conveying there, but there's always something better. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel, and don't be scared to, call upon someone. And
don't be afraid to reach out. And I think, regardless of who you are, you are loved. There are people in your life who love you and care about you and need you, and who would sorely miss your presence. And that's the thing, that even at the lowest point in your life, like you have to remember that things will get better if you just keep moving and keep going and just have that vision of creating a better life. Like I've been through that, multiple times in my life. And every time that I reached that low point, when I kept pushing and made a choice that I wasn't going to allow the darkness to bleed into me and take me over, I always got better. And it's like, even no matter how far I dipped, I always went back up. And it's like those lows in my experience have been, they don't ever go as low, because I've been through it before. Yeah. And I know that I can get out of it now.
And if you don't think you have anyone there for you, there's definitely hotlines you can call. Sometimes
it's easier to talk to a stranger.
Sometimes you gotta rely on music, you guys, hence this reaction. You guys, just take care of yourself, easier said than done sometimes, but sincerely take care of yourself. And, you have a purpose, man. I tell everyone that. Some people think I'm crazy, but we're all here for a purpose, and you have purpose. So just remember that when you're in those dark moments, and if you're not in those dark moments, you guys make sure you're reaching out to your friends and loved ones, because we got a lot of saving to do. You know what I mean? There's a lot of
even
stuff
if you are
on.
in that dark moment, like tell your friend that you love them. It's amazing, like the difference that you can make when you express gratitude and love for another person, how it impacts your life.
This is true. So you guys, on that note, this is Ren, Suicide. Thank you, brother man Ren, for another gem. I would definitely say this is a classic. This is, I honestly haven't heard anything like that before, especially that last verse where it's poetry. It's a little rap-ish. It's amazing. So on that note, you guys, we're going to ride off into the sunset. If you would like, share, and comment on all the content, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. 40.
Thank you for being some man. 40 years down the road, back again. FUQ.